What is up, you guys? Welcome to another day with Spencer here on my personal channel. Hope you guys are doing great. This week I am talking about 4 things that I get asked all the time as a non-binary person from both the cisgender and the transgender community. And I just want to give you a little bit of my answers on all these things I get asked all the time, as well as just a little perspective as a non-binary person. There's something in my hair. A little perspective as a non-binary person, and how some of these questions can be kind of hard to field. So without further ado, 4 questions that I get all the time as a non-binary trans individual. All right, so the first question I get asked the most is, why are you on testosterone? So there is this idea, I believe, that people that start hormone replacement therapy want to transition from one side of the binary to the other, and vice versa. And I think the greater answer to this question of why are you on testosterone to any trans person is simply because it makes me more comfortable. I don't think I've met a trans individual that's come up to me and told me that they're on T because they are male. Because we all know that regardless of on HRT or not, you're male. And hormone replacement therapy doesn't make you male. So no one really states that they're on hormone replacement therapy because they identify as male or female. They're on it because it makes them more comfortable to physically um, see the changes that is associated with HRT. So to answer that question simply, I am on HRT because the effects that I get from testosterone makes me feel more comfortable in this body. So question 2 that I get asked all the time is, do you have feminine days and masculine days, or do you like switch between them or in any way, shape, or form? And this is a pretty interesting question. It makes me want to ask people what they think non-binary means. For whatever reason, I feel like people think that non-binary means that you switch between like feminine days and masculine days, or you're gender fluid in some way, or you have an andro look where you take characteristics of masculinity and femininity and put it into, your outward appearance. And that may be true for some people. However, that is not the case for all non-binary individuals. For me, I dress and act and look and do the things that I do because they simply just make me comfortable, and it is who I am. And even though many people would look at me and say that I'm incredibly masculine, I still identify as non-binary. You don't have to have feminine days or masculine days or be 100% andro in everything that you do or present to be non-binary. Non-binary people come in many different shapes and sizes, and they like many different things, and they do many different things, just like cis people and trans men and trans women. So to put us in this category where we have to be andro is kind of limiting, and we don't want to be boxed in. And that's the whole point of, like, within our community, we kind of feel like if you don't have a certain look as a non-binary person, then are you truly non-binary? Or I've had many trans men say, oh, you're just waiting to come out as trans male. And that's not the case at all. I just look and do and act the way I do because it makes me comfortable. So to answer that question, no, I don't. I'm not gender fluid. I don't have feminine days versus masculine days. This is me pretty much all the time, and I'm still a non-binary individual. The third question I get is, how do you feel about non-binary people using Zer pronouns? And I don't really know what the intent was for this question, I guess. I don't really know why it matters what I think, because I don't use those pronouns. I use they, them pronouns. However, I guess from what I get from society is they have this idea that non-binary people or trans people are using made-up pronouns. And the example that they give is Zer or Theythem. And personally for me, if calling you by Zer pronouns or Theythem pronouns or whatever namesake or whatever pronouns you want to go by makes you feel better, and it doesn't like hinder me in any way, and it doesn't like cause like, I don't know, pain or something, then I'm gonna do it. I have no problem with respecting you as an individual. I have no problem with respecting how you wish to be addressed, and I will try my hardest to never forget and try my hardest to do so. So I don't really care about any other pronouns. It doesn't bother me that people use different pronouns, and it shouldn't bother you. And the last question that I get, the fourth question that I get, is kind of a tricky question, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's basically, do you wish that you were binary? Do you wish you were born binary? A lot of trans people get this question in the form of, do you wish you were born cisgendered, etc. And to answer that question, yes. I wish I was born binary. I do not like to exist in gray areas in my regular life. I'm a very black and white person. I'm a very fact and fiction person. I'm a very rational versus emotional person. I don't have a lot of gray area that I um, really enjoy. So, yeah, for me, it would be a lot easier if I was just born binary, even if that was trans male, because it just there's little things that I think binary trans individuals get in terms of gratification that is kind of hard for me. One of those things would be like if you're pre-T or beginning of your transition and you get a person to refer to you in the correct pronouns, you know, you get a little like pick me up almost, a little bit of like a smile, like, yeah, I'm doing it, yeah, people are seeing it, whatever the case is. And I can never walk out into society and get that. No one will ever assume that I'm non-binary. No one will ever assume my pronouns. No one will ever, you know, give me that almost shock of like, yes, I'm doing it. I'm proving to everyone or whatever the case is. No one will ever do that for me. So it is kind of depressing, I guess, to just not be able to experience that. However, I do enjoy being non-binary. I do enjoy being an advocate for non-binary individuals. I do enjoy the experiences and all of the education and knowledge and community that I've gained from being a non-binary individual, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. I would still be a trans individual had I been born in a male body. I would not be on hormones, obviously, and I would not want surgery, but I would still identify as transgender. And I very much enjoy the LGBT community, and I very much enjoy the trans community. So I would still very much hold dearly to that. And that's one thing that I think has built me up along the way and helped me, you know, become comfortable and confident in who I am and explore the world as a non-binary person and my options, etc. So I am happy for my trans identity. I am happy about my non-binary identity. I would change to binary if I could, but it's not the end of the world for me. So those are the 4 questions I get all the time. If you have any questions for non-binary people, leave them in the comments below, or tell me what you experience if you are a non-binary person when interacting with cis and trans people alike. I hope you guys are having a great week and are gearing up for an even better weekend. I have a lot to update you guys on next video, so stay tuned for that. It is Thursday. It is Spencer. Until next time.